Jai Gurudev. It's a great pleasure to welcome you to become a member of the Maharishi European Siddhaland, a very precious community. We're going to speak for a moment about the responsibilities of the members of the Maharishi European Siddhaland. Very delightful responsibilities. This very special community, the Maharishi European Siddhaland, is a beautiful place to focus on enlightenment and to live with like-minded people. As well as our Maharishi Golden Dome, there are so many other features here for you to enjoy, such as the Maharishi Ayurveda Health Center, the Maharishi School, and all the varied projects and courses, the businesses. It's such a rich and varied life here. Established in 1980, the Maharishi European Siddhaland is the ideal place to become enlightened. It is a great lighthouse and example of Maharishi's knowledge, Maharishi's teachings. Living here means that one can enjoy both personal benefits, personal development at the maximum pace of evolution, and at the same time contribute to coherence in national consciousness, peace in the nation, invincibility for the nation, which means reducing negative trends in the nation, enhancing positive trends, and making the nation invincible to further development of negativity, either within the nation or penetrating the nation from outside. So we're here for personal enlightenment and promoting national and world peace. And peace means fulfillment on all levels of life. It's a great and joyful responsibility. Peace in the nation and peace in the world is the automatic byproduct of our own development of joy, bliss, perfect health, enlightenment and fulfillment, invincibility in our own lives, naturally radiating to create invincibility in the whole society, in the whole nation, ultimately contributing to world peace. This is the phenomenon known as the Maharishi effect, and it's well documented in almost 50 scientific research studies. And it's the Maharishi European Siddhaland that is the prime generator of the Maharishi effect in Great Britain. Our immediate goal is to create, first of all, a group of 400 yogic flyers practicing the Transcendental Meditation and TM City program together twice daily in the Maharishi Golden Dome, or if not directly in the dome, then in smaller groups nearby, or even if we can't make one of those smaller groups, then definitely in our own homes, but all at the same time. It's by all doing it at the same time that we create the maximum influence of the Maharishi effect. As I mentioned, our immediate goal is to have 400 practicing the program together twice daily, but our ultimate goal is to have at least 800, sufficient for superradiance effect, means creating invincibility for the whole of the United Kingdom. Ultimately, of course, we'd really like to have a group of 8,000, because Maharishi says that every nation is not isolated these days. We're part of the world family of nations. To ensure our own peace and stability, we really have to look after the whole world. So our ultimate goal will be to establish a group of 8,000, but immediately 400 rising to 800. We're very fortunate that through the focus of the members and directors over so many years since 1980, this is already the largest and strongest of all the coherence-creating communities established in Europe, and with our expansion plans, we'll certainly keep it that way. This community is a great inspiration for Maharishi's worldwide organization. It's looked to and revered for the example it has set by Maharishi's whole world movement. And what is that example? It's the example of a Maharishi community, a community that utilizes all of Maharishi's programs and focuses on them. It's a very special quality of this community that this focus on Maharishi's knowledge and Maharishi's approach is not diluted in any way. We just use Maharshi's program for enlightenment and peace. And that is the strength of this community. So from this point of view, guarding the purity of the teaching, maintaining this focus on Maharshi's knowledge and programs, is really, it's not just a luxury, but it's actually the key to the success and the achievements and the strength of this community. And what are the components of this? Firstly, of course, we should be regular in our practice of transcendental meditation and the TM City program, including, of course, our yogic flying practice. Regular means we do it twice daily. As far as possible, we also all do it at the same time each day, even if we can't actually be in the dome for one reason or another. There may be family commitments or other responsibilities from time to time, but absolutely as much as we can, we're doing our program at the same time every day. And that means the same time as everyone else in the community. And as I mentioned earlier, it may be that as the group expands and it covers a wider geographical area, we will have some smaller satellite groups, but they will also do the program at the same time as the main group in the Golden Dome. And those of us who, for some reason, whatever, some days we can't join either a satellite group or the main group, then we will also endeavour in our own homes to do the program at the same time. This is a very powerful formula recognised in the Maharshi effect studies, that doing it at the same time will create the maximum influence of coherence for the nation. And more coherence in the nation means a happier society to live in, a more peaceful world to live in. We won't have the pain of listening to bad news. We'll just be enjoying growth and progress on all levels of life. Now, in addition to our practice of transcendental meditation and yogic flying, of course, we utilize all the other programs that Maharshi has given us as much as we can and as regularly as we can. Maharishi Ayurveda gives us beautiful daily routines, seasonal routines, purification programs, use of so many different programs and practices, which actually are not, in a sense, just a luxury of life, because when Maharshi brought out Ayurveda for the first time as part of our program in all our transcendental meditation centres and communities around the world, he brought it out in 1985. And he emphasized then that we were adding Ayurveda to the practice of transcendental meditation, because transcendental meditation, theoretically on its own, by transcending deeply enough, we can gain deep rest, we can eliminate deep stresses from life. But if there's some problem with the body, some physiological weakness or malfunction, that can interfere with the transcending process. So Maharshi said we're now going to approach this from the level of the body as well as the level of the mind. So the practices of Maharishi Ayurveda really are very important, not just for our own health and comfort in life, promotion of longevity, but also for the smoothness of our practice of transcendental meditation. So that's another important part of the life of this community. We also utilize all of Maharishi's other programs. That means Maharishi Sthapatya Veda. We live in buildings that are aligned with the total potential of natural law, Vastu Vidya as it's called in the Vedic texts. We utilize the knowledge of Vedic music, Maharishi Gandharva Veda, Maharishi aromatherapy, Maharishi light therapy, Maharishi Jyotish and Maharishi Yagya to see the future and how we can avoid negativity that may come in the future. We utilize as much as we can, as much as is comfortable, all of these precious programs of Maharishi's. Of course, and this is, I think, an important point to note, when we say we use Maharishi Ayurveda to maintain good health, to help us with health problems we may have, and also to promote longevity, it doesn't mean that we don't take the advice of the doctor if we've got a serious medical issue. We use the best of modern medicine and we use the best of Ayurveda, and we're sensible like that with our health. So we're not saying that with something like Ayurveda we just use that exclusively. We're taking a balanced approach, and the leaders and doctors at the Maharishi Ayurveda Health Centre can provide you proper guidance about this in case any questions arise. But the key thing here is that this community is so special because it is focused on Maharishi's programs and Maharishi's path to enlightenment. Over the years, it hasn't been diluted with the introduction of other systems and other programs. It's a very important point, and one that Maharishi put his attention on a lot with the leaders of this community. So in a sense, by becoming a member of the community, we're signing up to really essentially the Maharishi program for enlightenment and progress in life. That's why we're joining this community. It's a program which is scientific, it's well established, it's been used for thousands of years, there's personal testimony, there's the ancient Vedic texts. So it's verified from so many different angles of scientific research and personal testimony and ancient written records and verbal records of human experience. So we've made a good choice to become part of this community, and in order to gain maximum benefit of that, we're also subscribing to an approach which puts Maharishi's programs first and doesn't dilute them, because if we do dilute them, then things get confused and we don't really go anywhere at all. In fact, it can be quite damaging in our own evolution, and also can be very confusing for others in the same community. So we like to emphasize that this is the Maharishi European Siddhaland, and it's our joyful obligation to maintain Maharishi's knowledge in this community. Maharishi has also given some specific advice in this respect. He always says, in this context and other contexts, that anyone's free to do anything they like in life. But here we have a community of those who have chosen to use Maharishi's knowledge and principles for our evolution and joy and progress in life. So to be a member of this community means to uphold the purity of the teaching and follow programs of Maharishi's Transcendental Meditation organization. If you want to do other things, then that's fine, but you go somewhere else to do those things. If you come here, then this is what you're becoming part of. And it'll be a joy to be part of this. You only have to talk to the existing members to see the enormous benefits that comes from following Maharishi's advice, following the techniques that he made available in the world today, from Gurudev, his teacher, and from the whole Vedic tradition of teachers and the whole knowledge of the Vedic literature which Maharishi has played such a great part to bring out in the world today. You might have practiced some other systems in the past or been involved in some other kinds of programs, and that's fine. The past is the past, as Maharishi said. The present is more evolved than the past, and the future is going to be even more evolved than that. The main thing is that you leave that behind, and here you focus with everyone else on gaining maximum from the beautiful opportunity that Maharishi's given us. There's a very nice analogy that makes this very clear that Maharishi uses, that if you're crossing the river, and he uses this in the context of the Vedic expression of crossing the sea of samsara, crossing from the state of ignorance to the state of full enlightenment, like crossing an ocean. And he says if you're crossing, it's really crossing the ocean in some boat or some transport, whatever you've got, a canoe or whatever it is. It's best to have both feet in the same boat. If you put your 2 feet in 2 different boats, then you're not going to get to the other side. You're going to end up in the water probably. So that's how we think about it here. We're putting both feet in this boat. That boat is the Maharishi European Siddhaland. We dedicate ourselves here to Maharishi's programs, and that's our great strength and joy and fulfillment. So welcome to our community. Enjoy taking full advantage of all the different opportunities you'll find here. The Dome, the great knowledge, the leaders of this community do absolutely their best to bring you always the latest knowledge, many international visitors bringing inspiring new insights into the latest developments in Maharishi's knowledge. So many great talks, courses. Enjoy going to the school. We had a great Maharshi Ayurvedic expert visit the community here. He said that being with young children is a rasayana. Being with young children who meditate is the best rasayana, I'm sure. And the school brings that bliss when you visit it. See what the school is for yourself. Visit the Maharishi Ayurveda Health Center, take advantage of that, and so on. All the beautiful offerings and programs here. At the same time, we're a community, so your support for all our different projects and so on, and the expansion of the Maharishi European Siddha Land will be a great addition. Everyone naturally wants to participate in this beautiful family here and support it in every way possible. So I wish you, on behalf of the trustees of Maharishi Foundation, on behalf of Maharaja Adhiviraj Rajaram, the leader of Maharishi's global organization, the Global Country of World Peace, on behalf of all the teachers of Transcendental Meditation in this country, the governors of the Age of Enlightenment, and all the siddhas and meditators, I welcome you to this community that we all hold so dear in Great Britain and in the whole world. And in this community, I wish you rapid growth to enlightenment, fulfillment of all your desires, and participation in the creation of an ideal society, the bringing of heaven on earth, Ram Raj, for all mankind. Jai Gurudev.